Hello and welcome to Good Games Well Played, episode 211. I'm Clint, aka JCM, with us this week is Messiah. Well, your hello got cut off there.
Why? Discord.
All I heard was, oh.
Eh.
I was like, uh-oh, it got cut off. Izzy's not here. He has some plans he had to go do, unfortunately. So we can't talk to him. He didn't start Death Stranding 2 anyways, and he's also not, I don't think he played any more of the altars. He'd probably just talk about Balatro, which is fine, but hopefully he'll be able to get some gaming in this week. But yeah, not a huge week of news. We do have some things I went through back. I'm like, did I miss anything that was like kind of important? But no, there wasn't too much. A funny bit I saw was that so Charlie Cox was at like a panel for something, and someone was like congratulating him for Claire Obscure Expedition 33, and he's like basically saying how he feels like a total fraud because he was only in the VO booth for like 4 hours, and the game's getting like all this praise, and it's got to be so weird, like especially when I was listening to oh my gosh, I'm blanking on her name, Maggie, Lady Dimitrescu, the voice actress was on an episode of Tosh Show, which is such a weird like weird guest for him to have because the nature of that show. But I listen to the whole thing. But it's like, and other actors have talked about this too, where it's like, you work on something and you record it, but you have no idea how it's going to do until it comes out. And usually by the time it comes out, it's always like years later. And unless you're doing pickups for stuff or they make a change to the story, you're pretty much done with the VO early on. And he was done with the VO pretty quick. Obviously because he's all, well, spoilers. He's only in that first act. But yeah, so it was funny hearing him say like, I'm glad it's doing well, but I barely worked on it, and I feel bad for, like, getting all this praise, which I thought was a funny, it reminds me of that speech that, Nolan North gave when he won, uh, I think it was, like, Character of the Year one year, and, he, like, was basically saying it was around that time where there was, like, the whole, voice actors matter conversation going on.
Mhm.
And he was saying, like, without the people working on and making the animators, all those other people, the writers, everything, the character would be nothing. Like I wouldn't have anything without them. It was like a big speech he gave, which was nice, giving credit to all the game devs who worked on Uncharted and what have you. Um, but yeah, it was funny to see. So I'm curious, like how they do too. Like, so I think about like the BAFTAs and that year that the actor for Baldur won for God of War 2018, and he's not like he's in the game, but I guess he's not in there quite as much. Like it's kind of like a how much do you have to be in a game, like an Anthony Hopkins situation in Silence of the Lambs? Like how much do you have to be in the game to be nominated for your performance at like the BAFTAs or for best character and stuff like that at any other award show? So I'm curious, like, because that's a pretty but Act One's a pretty significant chunk. Like you can do a lot there, and there's a lot of cutscenes and whatnot. Even if you only recorded for a couple hours, like it's still a significant amount of game for him to be in. So I'm just wondering if he'll be nominated or, who all will be nominated for from Claire Obscure in performances and what have you.
Yeah, I'm
But I thought
curious if there's going to be multiple people from Claire Obscure in nominated for like best voice role or whatever. Obviously voice actress, voice actor, stuff like that, but I'm curious if the category is going to have two or more of them in there at the time.
yeah. I feel like the most you get from one game in most award shows is typically two. Like two's the max from a game. Uh,
Usually the
but
leading roles.
yeah. And then so I'm curious, like I think that year where I think it was Kratos and Baldur were the two characters for the BAFTAs. I'm trying to remember, I forget, do the BAFTAs split up between actor and actress? Or is it just actor?
I have
Like
no idea.
I forget. I think it might be both, but I don't recall. But yeah,
Maybe
we'll see
like
what
leading
happens.
role and supporting role.
Yeah, perhaps. Yeah, maybe that's how they do it. And then there was a big update to Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2, got their siege mode alongside patch 8. Siege mode was part of the player test realm they had for a while, and there was like a limited amount of waves you could do, kind of like because it was a technical test, but the actual patch allows it to be much more a lot more waves, and also, so a bunch of different other additions they added to it. Some, ray trace ambient occlusion support, DLSS4 support, a bunch of other stuff. Also a lot of cosmetics. And they're still planning like some more big updates for that game. So they're still patching, even though we know that they announced that they're going to be working on Space Marine 3. Then I saw that Stalker 2 Shadows of Chernobyl is or Heart of Chernobyl, sorry, is allowing mod support, official mod support in their 1.5 patch. But if you want to do modding for that game, you need to have 700 gigs of free space on top of the 160 gigs of the game itself.
That is crazy.
And the reason is because all the assets that they GSC is, the company is allowing, they're all uncompressed assets. So I'm like, "My god, man, like, just giving access to all uncompressed assets." It's like, "Well, you're gonna have to have a lot of space." So, we'll see, I'm curious how well, I'm sure people who are modding probably have, big hard drives and they can just have a dedicated one for those tools because they're usually just like a hardcore community if you're making mods for a video game. Like,
Turns out this
espe
is just like a recruiting tool for them,
yeah,
giving
right.
everybody the assets and seeing what they make and be like, "You, come work with us."
Yeah, we like what you did. Uh, yeah, that's pretty funny. And then there was a funny article I saw saying that I guess Nintendo is in the credits for Death Stranding 2, and
Oh,
people
yeah,
are like,
yeah, I
"What?"
saw that.
Yeah, they're like, "What's going on?" And what happened was there was a motion capture company that Kojima Productions was working with, and then called Dynamo Pictures, and Nintendo got them in 2022 and got rebranded to Nintendo Pictures, but they obviously didn't cancel all the projects they were working on, so they're still working on it. So all the credits now have Nintendo in there because Nintendo acquired this motion capture company,
That's
which I
so
thought was
funny.
funny. Yeah,
Nintendo's like, "We're gonna buy you. You can still do what you're working on and do your own thing. We just want our name in there."
yeah.
They
So
basically just bought the rights to the name, which is
yep,
fine.
yeah. But it was funny. It's like, wait, what did Nintendo do? How did they help? And then Capcom had an event this week talking about a lot of stuff: Monster Hunter, Street Fighter, a lot of things. But one thing they talked about was how some of the initial experimentations for Resident Evil Requiem was that it was like they're looking at kind of doing an open world and like also an online multiplayer, like co-op kind of Resident Evil. I guess like kind of like Outbreak and Outbreak 2 or Operation Raccoon City, where they were seeing if that could work. And I was thinking about it, I was like, man, I liked the first Outbreak. Now, granted, there weren't a whole lot of multiplayer games on PS2 way back in the day. It's like sports games and SOCOM and
Mhm.
FF11, but there wasn't like a ton. And I was like, I liked Outbreak. It's like, okay, I'll do my bit, you go do your bit. So like you're working together. I mean, that's kind of what you do in like Dead by Daylight. Like you're each trying to do a different part of the map to take care of an objective so you can all escape. But yeah, they were like experimenting with it. They're like, you know what? Players aren't gonna really like this. Let's just go back to, what works. Uh, but yeah, it didn't even occur to me that this is the first time in, I guess, yeah, over a decade that they're going back to Raccoon City and involving not just Raccoon City, but involving Umbrella. Because obviously Resident Evil 7 and Village were their own little thing, like in different parts of the world. They weren't directly connected. They're
Mhm.
like parallel. Like there is some stuff like, oh, I can see how this could relate. And there's like documents you can read and stuff like that. But it didn't directly involve Umbrella. So yeah, it's like, oh yeah, we are going back to have an umbrella. So I thought that was interesting. But yeah, I'm curious what an open world Resident Evil would look like. I guess like
Like a
just
Ubisoft game.
I
Towers.
suppose. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, towers. Yeah, then I gotta get to the top of the tower, clear out all the liquors, and then scan the horizon. Uh, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Should be a fun time. And then that's pretty much it. Like I said, there wasn't a whole lot of other stuff. A lot of just talks about smaller games that are currently out. On like Nintendo Switch 2, some small patches here and there. Not a whole lot of stuff. But so we can go ahead and just move to what we've been playing, considering there wasn't a whole lot of other news. But yeah, what if I saw you while Michael was playing Death Stranding 2, you were playing what were you playing? I wasn't I saw it on social media.
I am th the reason that I'm sure there's lots of stuff in the news world that's been going on that has probably interested me and things like that, but I've been completely dead to the world because I've rediscovered Ragnarok Online, and,
Ooh.
I'm playing that on my tablet now because I picked up one of the mobile versions. It was okay, and then I saw some people talking about a version that isn't available on the North American Play Store anymore. So I was like, "Fuck it, I'll just download the APK and I'll install it," and it's very good, and I'm, completely hyper focused on it. So when Michael is running around, doing very bad decisions and Death Stranding, I'm just sitting on the couch, playing Ragnarok because the mobile versions have like auto battle. So it's just like I click on the little thing and my character runs to the next destination and then I watch him fall over in the river. So that's basically all I've been doing.
It's like a cat village I'm seeing here in some pictures on Steam, like lots of cats. It's got mixed reviews on Steam.
What
Obviously,
does?
it's not the Ragnarok Online.
Oh, different Ragnarok. I'm playing
Yeah, yeah.
Ragnarok. What is it? What is this called? Hang on. I'm auto battling right now. Ragnarok M Classic is the one that I'm playing on my
There
tablet.
we go. Okay, I see it now. What is this picture?
Because the other one, well, I guess there's two versions. There's Ragnarok X, and then there's M Eternal Love, I guess, that are available in the North American Play Store. They're just okay, and I don't like the Eternal Love because it's got too much like weird custom stuff, and I really just wanted to play like as close to base like original Ragnarok as I could. So
Mhm.
that's why I found this one. And then I also in my immense hyperfixation, I tend to, look up other things and like, oh, why don't I just play the old Ragnarok? And so I'm looking up servers that have like all of like the quests and lore and everything intact. Found out that there is a way that you can play original Ragnarok on Android tablets. Like they have Android compatible APKs. And I was like, oh my, that's not good. So I've been looking. I found one. I can't get it to work for some reason. So I spent way too much time trying to get it to work. But we'll see if this evolves into me just playing regular Ragnarok online again for way too long
Yeah.
for the 18th time.
Get sucked back into a game. Like,
Basically, yeah.
yeah, it's essentially my friend with FF11 when he got into Horizon.
Which is
Uh,
really funny because Michael has also been playing a little bit of Ragnarok Online. Well, he got back into it a little while ago. I guess his brother had started playing it, but they were playing on a private server on PC. And then I the reason that I got it on my tablet is because I caught up on Star Rail, and
uh-huh.
basically all I have to do is like farming to catch my characters up for the next patch that's coming. Uh, so I do that. It only takes like, I don't know, 20 minutes, if that, to like farm everything, use up all my like daily stuff, energy or whatever. And then I was like, well, I still want to play a game though. And I was like, okay, why not play Ragnarok? Let's see what's on the App Store available because I know they have 1,000 different versions of Ragnarok online now. And it's like, why don't I find one that's not shitty? And I found one that's not shitty, and now I'm addicted to it again.
Yeah. Uh, yes. How far did Michael get in Death Stranding? You saw at least?
Um, I don't know how to do it without
Describe it.
spoilers. We're playing for about
Is he like which
4 or 5 hours now.
chapter? I guess is he in? Because
Three?
I'm chapter 3. Okay, I'm in chapter. I think I'm in 4 or 5. One of them's like Omega Short. I'm in like I've done like a lot. Like
You went through the
essentially I
gate?
okay. He went to the gate. Okay, yeah. I'm at the point where the first time they introduced like the wildfire mechanic.
Oh, okay, we haven't done that yet.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you went to the gate. That's good because now you're out of the prologue essentially.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. Okay. Before I get into Death Stranding, because I haven't played that. I haven't played. I need to go back and play more of the altars. I pivoted immediately to play more Death Stranding 2 because that came out. Having fun with that. But yeah, I really got to get back to the altars, man. I think what I just do is just play it offline. Because like I haven't. I'm luckily with Death Stranding. I'm not recording it because I'm like I don't want to. One, the files will be way too big, and then
Mhm.
two, it's like it's gonna take way too long. I'm not gonna put all that up on YouTube. So like I'll play it offline. I don't play it strictly on stream. Um, so I've been able to play it more than I typically would for games that I reserve just on stream, which is like what I do with the altars. So I got a good amount of time in there. But oh, sorry, I just totally blanked. I was like, I was gonna say something. I was like, I lost my train of thought. Oh well.
Thinking about what you need to do in the game next.
Kind of. Well, I was like thinking like, all right, I had like something, and then I derailed myself, and then I was like, okay, no, whatever. I lost it. It's gone. Brain fart. But yeah, I have been playing a lot of Death Stranding too. I'm enjoying it a lot so far. Beautiful game. I like how they have like that perk system, which is interesting.
Mhm,
I also like the character of Charlie, where they kind of because in the trailer, like they introduced Charlie. It's a dummy, but it doesn't have a name, and there's like speculation, like oh, it's got holes on the chest, kind of like the DualSense, and maybe it's like the first AI character in a video game or something. Like you talk to it in the control, and it talks back, because it has no voice actor, and it's like, oh well, the reason it has no voice actor is because you pick one of 4 voices for it to have. Because you can have Lochner, Die Hardman, you could have Deadman, and Amelie. To be the voice, and I'm like, well, I'm just gonna pick Die Hardman because he's the one who talks to Sam in the first game a bunch.
yeah, that's what Michael did.
Yeah, it's Die Hard, man. So that's a lot of fun, but it is really funny when, like, he's talking to him he does it as a the AI uses it as a sort of it's like the movie Contact, where the alien just makes itself look like, Jodie Foster's dad to make it easier to talk to him, and it's kinda like that. It's like, "Okay, well, to make it easier that you're talking to an AI, I'll just use the voice of someone you know." But then I made Die Hardman, but then they talk about how Die Hardman's not the president anymore, and he's like, "Die Hardman's not the president?" And instead of saying, "You're not the president," even though it's not Die Hardman, so it was weird for a sec to be like, "Okay, if this is anybody else, it would've been, like, okay," but because they're talking about Die Hardman when I picked Die Hardman as the voice was funny. But yeah, no, it's a fun game. I'm surprised at how much stuff, like, there is. I'm like, "Damn," and obviously the game did have, like, a two-day early release window if you got the special edition. So I'm sure there's probably people who played that. It's weird, I also is Michael playing online or offline?
He's offline right now because he's playing on his account, which does not have PSN, so it's constantly trying to connect. But I think I'm just going to I told him to buy a month of PSN just to have it and play it, and he's like, "No, no, no." So I think I'm just gonna buy it and
Dude,
put it on his
I
account.
like, playing it's so because like, playing Dark Souls or any Souls game offline, like, makes sense because like, okay, seeing the it is nice to see the messages, it is fun to see the bloodstains, and, like, the messages are, like, a pretty strong core component of those games. But,
Mhm.
like, all the structures in Death Stranding are so important to that, like, it's the Strand game, like,
'Cause there's,
so
like,
important.
nothing in his game right now, and he's at the point where he's able to build, like, roads and bridges and stuff
Mhm.
like that, and he's like, "This is gonna take so long." I'm like, I'm gonna put you on PSN. You
Oh,
need."
man. Yeah, you got it. Like, it was crazy, like, when I went in, I found, like, "Oh, here's the auto pavers," and then I looked at some, and then because I left, or I didn't play for, like, a day or whatever, I came back and, like, it's like, "Oh, the road's completed in this area because people have contributed. Because like, I guess however it does it where they ping, like, you have, like, a I guess when you go on and you connect anytime you interact with someone's objects, it kinda creates that strand with them. You can
Mhm.
see it in, like, your connections menu, and I'm guessing, like, "Oh, I must have connected with enough people that they contributed materials to the highway, and because we're on the same" we'll call it, like, a server shard, it completed some of that road for me. I'm like, "Ooh, nice, I have some road completed." And then, I put down a bridge, and then the dopamine hit of when you log in and, like, it's like 62 people use your structure, and it's like you get up, like, hundreds of likes. It's like, "Oh, it feels so good." It's like or like I put down a ladder and a rope in, like, a really difficult spot, which you'd only do if you did, like, some bonus some extra order and not, like, a main order, and I put some down in some spots that I thought were, like, pretty valuable, and it's like, "Yeah, people used your ladder, they used your rope." I'm like, "Oh, I know the people that use those are only doing that one mission." Like, it's off the beaten path. So
Yeah.
it's so nice. It does this weird thing though where it tells me when people, like, contribute to structures that I don't care about, and at first I thought, like, it kept telling me, like, especially once I got to the second area, it kept saying, like, "Oh, so and so contributed materials to this lockbox, back on the prologue." I'm like, "I don't care." And I thought, like, "Oh, maybe because I put stuff in there in the private locker," because
Uh-huh.
I was like and maybe I have some and it's like, it's let me know, like, "Hey, it's your stuff's still there because people are fixing it," and it's because once you build something, you have to do maintenance on it. And the maintenance cost is pretty low, and luckily it lasts a long time, and anybody can contribute to the maintenance cost of a piece, or they can upgrade it to like a tier 2 item. And I was like, "Oh, maybe that's it. Maybe because I used it," they tell me. But then it still tells me about stuff I never use. It's like, "Oh, the timefall shelter here or this, that." I'm like, "I don't know why you're telling me about this." And like I guess maybe if it's like it must be because that timefall, like the timefall shelter that's down, like whatever player put it there, and all the other players that have interacted with it, it's now forever in your shard. Like, you'll always see it unless you delete it. Like, you can delete objects in the world if you don't like them. Like, "I don't like this here." It's like, "This is who would put this ladder here? Just go around the rock." You know what I mean? So, like, delete it. Which then opens up it's like its own multiplayer chiral network where it's like, you know how you have that bandwidth limitation for a chiralium? It's like, "Oh, you can only build so much stuff,
Mhm.
before the bandwidth is taken up." I'm sure it's the same way online where it's like, "Okay, you can only have so much multiplayer objects in the world." And it's like, if there's ones that are just useless, like people that put drop boxes in the most random locations, I'm like, why is there a drop box here? But you can like delete those. So maybe it'll free up space for more people to be able to see other stuff. But it must be like, okay, I don't use that timefall shelter, but because it's in my instance, anytime people repair that shelter that I can use, it just lets me know like, hey, people are fixing it, so it's still there. You're still up running. Like I had an instance where I put down a really good bridge in a spot and because like perfect theme for the pathing of this one quest. And I was like, "Okay, I'll put the bridge here." But then the rising tide of the water, the river I put over, like, destroyed my bridge. And it told me, like, "Hey, your bridge is gonna get wrecked because of the rising water." And I was like, "Nah, shit." And it got wiped off the map. I'm like, "Alright, well, it's broken." Uh, but yeah, like, I love that just seeing I put down a sign in a special spot. It's like, "Oh, people use your like, walk through your sign." And every time they walk through your sign, it automatically gives you a thumbs up. Uh, even if they don't like, if they use any of your stuff, you always get 1 thumbs up. It's you get more if they tag it, they get the extra thumbs up. But it's just I love that dopamine hit when you log in after a while and you just see, like, all the people use your stuff. It's so fun. It's like, "Oh, man." Or you come
You
across that
did
one.
useful things.
Yeah, I'm helping people, like, it's fun, like, it's like I put some down, people found it useful, or I love when I use someone else's object, I'm like, "Oh my god, someone has a perfect ladder in this one spot," or they have an anchor, I love that this here, give them thumbs up, it's super helpful what you're doing, like, I can't wait till I get to, like, the later in the game and I'm putting down zip lines and everything like that. Like, I love the zip lines in the first game, and they're so fun to put down. But yeah, the game is, like I said, it's a gorgeous game, and I'm playing on just a
Mm,
performance mode, and, like, even then, it's, like, it's still great. The one thing I was talking about it, on stream was, like, people talk about the diminishing returns of increased GPU and whatnot, for each generation and what have you, and it's like, yeah, obviously, the resolution will increase, which also does help increase fidelity because now you're getting more pixels per inch and what have you, if you have the monitors to support it. Um, but the one thing I really want is, uh I I look forward to draw distance and the draw distance and the LOD, the level of detail for stuff at a distance too, because like there are a lot of spots in that game where if there's like a flat, especially because there's so much desert in that second area, where it's like and there's desert in the first area, where it's like if it's flat, the textures in the distance, like they look flat. And then as you go in, whatever
mhm.
little vegetation they do have pops in, which is and I'm like, man, I can't like that's the next levels. Once they can push out that law distance to be like 50 miles or something, like just don't lose it. Just have the detail at the distance. That's what I want. So it doesn't look like sparse. I mean, that's like when I went back to play like Metal Gear Solid 5 way back in the day. I was like, oh, I'll try to replay this. So, I'll download it, play it some more of it. And it's like that's the thing that engine suffered from. The Fox engine was like, yeah, it's just any big open area, the stuff at the distance would be like just kind of sparse, and then the level of pop in would be pretty high in MGS5. It's like, damn, I don't remember it being like this, but yeah, there's just a lot of popping. But yeah, good looking game. That's why I'm excited for that Unreal Engine tech demo they did for The Witcher, where they showed the trees and all the trees are like voxels and like the level details, how the trees can still look like trees even super far away. I'm like, oh man, if you can apply that to like just foliage and grass, I'm like, it'll be so nice because like then grass and foliage can you could see it from the distance. Because I was trying to remember like because they're using Decima, and I'm like, I don't recall any instance in like Horizon. Granted, there aren't a lot of like desert spots, and there obviously are some deserts in the second game, and obviously it's still in the first game. But I don't remember like a lot of instances where it's like, oh, maybe it's just specific to the desert or like a barren landscape where there's only a little bit of like grass and not a lot of big structures to where it really stands out like, oh, the the reason it stands because it's so sparse, but it's like they can't up the detail of like the sand in that region to make it look a little more natural. It looks a little gamey flat like but which is fine. But it's like that's like the next step. But yeah, it's I'm really enjoying it. I met a new character who seems really interesting. I There's like this awesome effect. It's like this, I guess what you'd call like a chromatic abrasion, except it's only applied to like it's like or like a rainbow, like that rainbow oily effect you get when like oil mixes like with water and has
Mm.
that rainbow chrome look. It's like it's that effect applied to the liquid and near this character, and it looks really cool. I'm like, damn, that looks awesome. Like I love the way that looks. Interesting character. The fire is curious. They teach you about like a way you can kind of take care of it. But the mission I was on, it was like a time mission, and then like I was trying to take out all this fire with this new weapon I got, and then like Dollman's like, Sam, we can't take out all this fire. We just gotta keep moving. I'm like, damn it, I want to put out the fire. Lucky I taken out. Man, and there was a boss fight, like the first big boss fight you do. Not, I guess not the first, the second technically. And I like how it's like it's really choreographed that okay, a boss fight is coming because they say like, oh, there's been a lot of quakes and a lot of tar over here. Can you go check it out? It's like, all right, clearly boss fight.
It
Uh,
might be dangerous coming up, you might wanna prepare. Yeah, they're pretty heavy-handed about it.
mhm. Yeah, like I had a mission the other night when I was streaming. It's like Sam, we need you to take an order over here. There's been a lot of unusual tar activity, and plate quakes and whatnot, and I'm like, "Okay, we're gonna have a boss fight." I'm like, "I'll save this for tomorrow." And then,
Yeah.
but I did the boss fight, and it was like, uh, boss was cool design, but the music was fun. I was like, "Damn, I like this music." So it's pretty cool music. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I'm curious about the monorail, like how much I love that you can ride it and you can like change it. And I was riding the monorail, like I got set up like the scene in your first mission. It's like, oh, get this mine up and running, mine some materials. I like that there's mines to get mats, I think is really cool. It's like an easier
Mhm.
way to get a bunch of raw materials. You have to spend chiralium to get them, but usually you can get that pretty easily. And I go on the monorail, it's like, "Oh, I'm gonna ride it instead of skipping the cutscene or whatever." And one of the options you can have is Sam stands on the edge of the monorail is jump. And I'm like, "Why would I do that?"
Because you can.
But it was like, when would this be helpful? I mean, I guess if I had like an exoskeleton and that had like reduced impact or I was over water or something, I guess. But it was like, when is this gonna be helpful that I can jump? Uh, but
They
it was
literally
fun to like,
put that there because people will be like, "I can jump," and then they'll jump, and it'll be really funny.
"Yep, Sam, why did you jump? You just hurt all your packages." Uh, but yeah, there's some I'm curious about the some story stuff I won't get into right now because it's early on, but there are a lot of questions that I remember to a specific line that Sam says in the trailer, like the first big trailer. I haven't watched any of like the other trailers he does, like the launch trailers. I don't watch those because usually they're like heavy spoiler cutscenes. But there are some stuff I'm like, okay, this thing might happen, yada yada. And then but it's I'm curious when the first time it's gonna happen where you do the whole like in the first game, it was a bit before you actually had that first scene with Mads Mikkelsen. Like, I think it was when you come back from the Timefall farm, I think in the main area, and you're coming back, and then you get, the storm comes and you get sucked up, and you have that first giant battlefield beach situation. I'm wondering when that's gonna happen in this one, so I could see the one character, the snake character, essentially, because I haven't had it happen yet. But, yeah, it's a good time. I like how they always have to add more lore stuff. It's like, "Oh, there's this, and yada yada," just stack it on there. But yeah, it's just it's relaxing, like, it's fun just to, again, go out, run around, do objectives, and it's interesting that they gave you a fast travel mechanic with the, because you well, I guess it's not interesting because they had a fast travel mechanic in the first game. The problem with the fast travel with Fragile was you couldn't take your stuff with you from one distro center to another.
Mhm,
But because you use the Magellan to fast travel, like, you can just leave your stuff in the private locker. So it is like an upgraded version of that fast travel. And I guess you can also do deliveries with it, but
mhm.
you are penalized for doing that. So I don't use it for deliveries. But yeah, it was and the game seems to be doing it like it's been getting really good reviews. It's funny, like some people love Troy Baker's performance, some people are like it's over the top. Some people love it because it's over the top. I can't like I had the first cutscene I had with him. I was like, "Oh, this is fun" because they're doing this mask thing that I thought was a fun touch. But yeah, I'm curious like how much he's going to be in here, and then how many other characters maybe that we don't know about are going to show up. Like I had a cutscene with the character talking about another person, but it was in like it was an optional cutscene. Like you didn't have to have it. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So like there's this whole aspect of this one character that you don't know, like a relationship, if you don't have this little side cutscene. Like, okay, I wonder how much of that there's gonna be where there's like, hey, you can learn some more stuff, but you have to kind of go out of your way and make the choice to actually to do it. But it's also interesting, like I thought Dollman might talk more like Mimir in God of War, but Mimir's like lore dumping like all the stuff about Norse mythology, whereas
Mhm.
Dollman is not necessarily usually like, Sam, you forgot to grab your thing, or Sam, we're in the area that we need to look on for, or Sam, this like it's not as much talking as I thought. Or like, hey, you picked up the object you needed for this quest. Uh, he's not like used a ton. It's funny how he's used like a drone. He's like the eagles in Assassin's Creed. Like you can just throw him in the air. He just spots stuff for you. But which is funny because someone's like, "Oh well, if you have him, why use any of the watchtowers?" Well, like the watchtowers can spot enemies through walls, and he can't do that. Like he has to actually be pretty close to be able to tag them direct line of sight. But it was funny that that first cutscene you have with the samurai in the prologue. It was like I was going back because like, oh, your base is under attack. So I was on a bicycle. I was on one of the bikes, like riding back, and then it shows the cutscene where like all the robots and the robo dogs like spawn in. I'm like, well, I'm not gonna go fight them. I'm just gonna drive right past them. And I kept
Mhm.
driving, And then I got to the cutscene where, like, a bunch of dogs catch up to me, but Sam's no longer on the bike because it's, the cutscenes, he's not supposed to be on the bike. So all of a sudden he's just standing there and all the dogs, and then the samurai shows up and takes everything out,
The
which I thought was really
exact same
funny.
thing. He was going back on one of the little, like, trike things or whatever, and he's just like, "Why does it keep stopping? Why does it keep stopping me? I just want to drive through." I'm like, "Well, we need to meet Raiden first."
Yeah, yeah. That is the one thing about riding the bike when something happens that they have to tell you in that prologue section, like, it just stops you immediately to tell you, like, "Warning, your base is under attack," "Our drones are under attack." Like, it's just funny that it stops you dead in your tracks. Kinda like what they
Mhm.
do with, like, when you enter a BT zone on the vehicle, but,
Yeah.
I forgot, like, I I guess I don't know if they were in the first game, but, like, the BTs that can see, I forgot that they were a thing. I was like, "Oh, I guess," and also they're, like, huge, and I forgot, like, because there are some huge BTs in the first game, but they're, like, not till way later, like,
Mhm.
after you've done, like, everything with Hartman, and you have to go do a bunch of stuff on the southwest side of the map, like, research centers and all that other stuff, and, like, there are some big BTs down there that take, like, a bunch of grenades to take down, but yeah, I was like, "Oh, yeah, I forgot there are BTs that can see,
Those
not
ones,
just
like,
hear you."
down in the little chasm or whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we were trying to drive through, and it just kept stopping, and then he got his, little bike thing stuck in the goo. I was like, "You need to just go around. What are you doing?"
Yeah.
This is very funny.
Yeah. It's a good time. I'm curious to see more of the environments, I'm looking forward to because I'm still only on that kind of west side of the map, just making all the
Mhm.
connections. But yeah, it's a good looking game. It was funny, I was watching someone play Claire Obscure there at the end of Act 2, like, it was the cutscene after the fight with the paintress, and they're like, they thought it was the end. Like, they were convinced it was the end and yada yada, and it's like it's going through all the stuff, and then they're, like, watching the cutscene's going, Verso's, uh, reading the letter, and then everybody gets homage, and suddenly it jumps and does the epilogue, and then he thought, like, "Oh, he still thought it was the end." But then someone asked him, like, what he's gonna play next after this, and he goes, and then he goes on, like, this long talk about it he might go back and try to replay, the first or try to start again the first Death Stranding because he kind of bounced off it back in the day, and then the conversation in chat just turned to talking about Death Stranding and Kojima, and he was, like, in the part where, Alicia's talking to Clay, outside the painting about going
Mhm.
in. I'm like, and in my head, I'm watching, I'm like, "Brother, this isn't the end of the game." Like, I wanna tell you, like, you picked the worst time to get derailed by a side conversation about Metal Gear and Kojima. Like, you got so much more to go, especially because for him, he said it was, like, it was midnight for him, but he kept going because he thought it was the end of the game, and it's like, "No,
Also,
it's not."
like, I I feel like that's crazy because you get to that point and you're like, "Oh, this is very end of the game," but this is definitely not the end of the game. Like, I guess if maybe because streamer brain is just not kind of paying attention to all the little, like, foreshadowing and hints and clues and stuff like that, but the whole time I was doing that section, I was like, "This is not the end of the game. There's no
Well,
way this is the end of the game."
yeah, I think it's because they call it epilogue. Like,
Yeah.
it's weird to have a prequel epilogue and then go into an act like, it should be called, like, Act 2 epilogue or something, and then it's or whatever, like, I feel like that's what made it seem weird. It's like, okay, everything got destroyed. Like, because he was talking about, like, "Oh, well, some stuff I assume was happening, like them being painters, this and that, the no face guy being Renoir in the game, and then, the curator being Renoir. He's like, I called that and yada yada." And then it's like, oh, and then it goes Act 3 and goes, "Oh, so there's like a prologue before Act 3." He's like, "Okay." And then he called it quits after they got to camp and she brought everybody back. But it's just like he was talking for so long and I was watching, I was like, I just want to see him continue and get to the point where he realized, like, oh, it's not the end of the game. Like, there's more stuff going on. But then chat drilled him and I was like, I wanted to say something, but I didn't want it to be a first time chatter being like, no spoilers, but you gotta keep going. Like, stop talking about Kojima. Uh, but but yeah, I look forward to playing more Death Stranding. It's a good time. I know Dying Light 1 got an update to make the game got like a graphical update. Not like a remaster, but they updated a bunch of stuff, bunch of assets to make them better. So like downloaded the first Dying Light because I have it on PC because I wanted to run around Haran and see what it looked like. The one issue I was having though was like for whatever my main monitor I had set to 1440p to match my second, because I have, like, whatever reason, Wavelink just when you move it from a high resolution monitor to a monitor that's the resolution now, like, it just messes up the resolution scaling of the application to where it skips, like, two resolution steps. Like, instead of displaying the app in a proper 1440p moving from a 4K monitor, it displays it as if it's like it converts it to a 1080p. But then like it's way too big and blown out. I'm like, I hate it. It takes up all my screen if I want to look at everything, and it's really
Sure.
annoying. But if I keep both of them at 1440, I don't have that problem. So I had my monitor at 1440 and I launched Dying Light, and the game was like omega zoomed in. It was like I felt like it was trying to play on ultra wide, and I couldn't. I was like, I can't navigate this menu, and I was having a hell of a time. And what happened was, it was displaying the game at a 4K full screen, and it was such a pain in the ass to navigate it to like. Once I realized that's what it was doing, then I just changed my monitor back to 4K, and then I was able to get it back down to 14 to the proper resolution I needed, and yada yada. But that was like it was driving me crazy. It was like PC gaming. I was like, man, you drive me bonkers. But that was a fun time. And yeah, other than that, the only other thing I guess we got to play is Peak at some point.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Game's pretty cheap. I was listening to people talk about it on a podcast, and it's like, yeah, it sounds fun. Like I haven't seen it, but I've seen like clips of it pop up.
Mhm.
Yeah. So and also the Steam Summer Sale going on. I don't think it's as good as they typically are because a lot of people are kind of complaining. But some of the games that I have, like that Siren's Rest DLC, which came out for Still Wakes the Deep, is on sale. And then Black Mesa Definitive Edition, which is like a fan made remake of the first Half Life, is on sale. It's like a $2. It's like 90% off. It's like I'll probably get that.
Jeez.
And then also the Tomb Raider 4 through 6 remasters are 35% off on PC. So I'm like, I'm probably gonna have to get in and finally get that because I do want to replay Tomb Raider 4. It's like I'd spend that money just to replay that one game. I never played Angel of Darkness. Not Angel Dark. Is that what it is? Angel of Darkness, the sixth one.
Yeah. Is the PS2 one? Or one of the PS2
Yeah,
ones?
the first one on PS2.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I never played that. Never played that one. Because I remember it
Remember
came out
we
like it did not
well,
review.
my friend and I don't think I had it, but my friend and I played it at her house, but I don't remember much of it. I don't know, maybe because she played it the most and I just kind of watched, but I
Yeah,
remember like us passing it back and forth and like both of us playing, but I just don't remember much of the game.
yeah, it came out in '03, summer of '03. So it'd been right after school got out for high school for me, and I graduated. And I just for whatever reason I didn't get it. Not that I had money to buy my own games. So, like I remember reading a video game magazine like I didn't well. I remember like the platforming not being good and the story was kind of meh at the time, at least what they said. But from all the reviews I saw, but I wouldn't mind going back and like seeing it because I think that they added updated controls in the remaster. So it'd be interesting to go back and play it. Because yeah, I didn't go back into Tomb Raider until Anniversary came out, right when that was like a year into the PS3's life cycle, came out on PS2, and I played that. And then I went back and replayed Legends because Anniversary was like Legends was essentially a sequel to the first game. And then there was a Tomb Raider. What was the other Tomb Raider game that came out after Anniversary? Tomb Raider. Was it a PS3 game or was it PS2 still? Two games. Legends. Underworld was what it was called, and I played Underworld after that because like those three games, essentially one Legends, Underworld, were all like their own little trilogy. And I liked Underworld. I
Or
thought that was a
Underworld at
fun game.
all.
Man, Underworld was good. You got like had that one Aztec section. I remember that was a game where like I was. Did that come out on PS3 or only just Tomb Raider Underworld? Yeah, it was just PS2. Might have came out on Xbox as well. Let's see, PS2, Windows, yeah, Wii. Yeah, it came out some more other places, but yeah, I played that. I remember I was trying to get it did come out on the PS3 as well. Okay. Yeah, because I remember I was trying to get the platinum in that game. And there's this one bit where you're going down this temple in like the snowy section. There's all these Yetis. And you have to take this bike like down this spiraling ramp all the way to the bottom. And then I died and it respawned me up at the top of it. And I couldn't get down and it was going to ruin, I forget whatever trophy it was I was trying to do, but it was going to ruin my platinum run. I'm like, I can't proceed because you can't go down without the bike on this ramp for whatever reason. I don't remember why. And so I was like, I was stuck because it didn't respawn me the bike. But I found that there's a glitch where if you jump, you do like a backflip and do a certain input. I think like you backflip and you shoot and you do something else, maybe like roll at the same time. If you fall, you take no fall damage. So I did that. Like I fell like 200 stories down, and she's just screaming, "Ah!" And then I hit the ground, but I don't die. It's like thank God this glitch saved me. It's like I didn't lose my platinum trophy on this video game. But yeah, a lot of stuff. I got to get back into play more Death Stranding. I want to play more of the altars because I'm still at the start of Act 2, and I want to finish that game. Just I need to. I was wondering why, because you said when you said I was, like, saying that he didn't have PSN made sense, because I was trying to look at, like, "Oh, you said Michael's playing," so I looked on my like, "Hey, make Strand contracts with your friends," and it was like, I only have one person I can see their name. I was like, I don't see Isley's," and it's like, "Oh, he hasn't played yet, that's why I don't see him." And I don't see Michael's, and it's like, "Oh, you don't have PSN, that's why I don't see
Mhm.
him, or PS Plus." I was like, "Okay." So at least once I get that up, I can add the Strand contract with him. Yeah, that'd be fun, 'cause I wonder if, 'cause then Isley, if he does that when he plays, should be able to see my, any things that I put down that should take priority in the friend in your friend group, kinda like messages in Elden Ring if you're part of the group or whatever. But yeah, other than that, just gotta get back in there and play those games. I did put together a bunch of, Warhammer stuff. Man, I was so annoyed, like, I had these one pieces where it was like, you could have, like, 3 for most of them. It's really, like, 2 head options. You can have the kinda the OG design or, like, the squid head design, and I like the squid look more, like this Cthulhu look, because it matches some other, like, tentacle face-looking creatures that I like from Tyranids or from other models I've got. So I was like, "Okay, I don't want the one face, I'll put on the squid face." And the way you put these models together, like it's interesting putting together a bunch of stuff that's not push fit. And it's fun where they have like good designs where they usually have like a joint, like a leg that connects to the hip of the model. And the leg will have like a little divot in one spot, and the body piece will have like a little like half dome sticking out of it, so you can line it up and it fits in, and you're like, okay, this is the perfect position for this item, and then you just hold it, and you're good to go. And the arms on these, because the creatures have 4 arms, they have these rectangle slots that you put into the body. So it's like you have this rectangle peg, so that way the arm is can only be in the one correct position. You can put it upside down, but it'll look weird. So, like, okay, this is how they can perfectly fit in. So they're great because, like, I do put some liquid cement in each of the holes, and I put in the arms, and they just fall right into place. And it's great. But because the heads are plate replaceable, where you can swap them out, the way they designed the way that the head pieces attach to the neck of the body is super annoying, because I'm like, why not have the pegs like you do with the arms? And I'm like, I guess the only reason you don't do that is because people want to swap the faces out. Like, let's say you sell them or you get tired of the look and you want to change the face because you still have all the other faces. You just want to change the face. It's easier to take off the way they are now than they are with the pegs. And I'm like, yeah, that's just weak. Like, you're just commit to your decision. Or magnetize the heads or something, because I'm like, it's so annoying to, like, put them on because they don't even, like, fit like, the way that ball and socket, like, kinda half joints I talked about are great because like, it's in the perfect position. But the way I have to hold them, and then you have to put the liquid cement on and then, like, hold it, then the pressure of you holding it can also cause yourself to, like, move a little and be out of place, and it's just like, and then the stickiness of your skin on the model, and then when you go to let go and you shift it, 'cause the liquid cement is an instant, like, it's pretty quick. But it's just like, I hate it so much. I'm like, "Why can't you just make it easier?" It's like when I put together this one model on stream the other day, this Biovore, putting on, like, the face pieces, like, the mouth bits into the face was the most challenging thing I've ever done. I was like, "This is so difficult." I was like, I spent, like, 40 minutes trying to get it perfect because, like, it didn't fit in such a way that, like, because people always tell you, like, dry fit first so you can kinda see where stuff goes. And for most models, if they're not push fit, like, they have a pretty good, like, okay, even if it's just straight up flat on flat, usually there's, like, they design it in such a way that's like, okay, you can tell, like, this is the perfect position. You just dry fit it, you're like, "Okay, here we go," and then put the liquid cement or whatever you use, and then put it together. But putting those things on, man, I was like, I was losing my mind because it was so hard to hold them both in place, and it was just like, it was driving me crazy. I was like, "Why are you doing this? Please, come
You're
on."
now gonna have to invest in, like, these little support structures like they have for, like, putting together Gunpla and stuff like that, where it's just, like, holding everything together with these weird, like, contraptions,
Mhm. Yeah, I'm gonna have to put, like,
various clamps and sticks and things.
yeah, like, put the both tiny halves of the face with the mouth and the 2 fangs on, like, little pins, and then I have them on, like, a vise, and I slowly put them together, and I have a 3rd piece up top, like, it looks like I'm doing some
Mhm.
weird surgery, like, but it was so frustrating. I was like, "I hate this so much, this dumb mouth." But yeah, but putting together the other pieces. It's fun though, because at least like a lot of them, they fit together really well, and I like the way they go to like it's fun, except for the headpieces. Like that's the only one I'm like I hate this, and they are small, like big enough that you could, if you want to, just magnetize them. I guess you could do that with like a small 3 millimeter magnet, and then you just swap out the heads to whatever you wanted. You just have to file down to make the both sides flush and flat, and then just drill the holes. But that's a lot of miles to do that too. But anyways, all right. Well, I don't have any other anecdotes right now for gaming stuff. I gotta make sure I take some Death Stranding notes. I sucked. I had one character was talk. It was a tar man. He was talking about his hand, and he mentioned he's like, I could still feel my hand in the tar, so I can navigate the currents. It's like a phantom pain, and I was gonna clip that, and then once it does the phantom pain, do that one Metal Gear meme where the one song plays from what's their names? It's not actually in Metal Gear at all.
Oh,
But,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, and then just have it, like just do, like, superimpositions of, like, Snake from MGS5. But I was like, "Damn, I didn't back record long enough," and I was like, "Oh, damn it, I don't have it now." Uh, oh, well. But, yeah, good game. Look forward to playing more of it. You have to let me know when Michael gets, when he gets PSN, 'cause then I can add each other on the Strand contracts.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to convince him to do it, but
That'd be fun. All right, well, we'll go ahead and wrap it there. Hopefully, Izzy plays some games, either more Altars or Death Stranding this week, and next week we can talk about them, or maybe he can just talk about some Balatro War stories or something. Because I know
he's
he's
just
having
been
trouble
playing
with Gold Stake.
Balatro.
Yeah, he's like, oh, Gold Stake is so tough, and I'm like, well, yeah, it's Gold Stake. Like, he's like, I understand the whole being victim of randomization. I'm like, that's kind of what you have in most games. Like, there could be jokers that like it's not like every seed's going to be hey you can win every seed. I'm sure they probably could like if you because the problem you have in that game is like I told him like I've replayed Siege like what if I opened this Joker pack instead of this one and it's like oh this Joker pack had better Jokers or if I just re-rolled the shop one more time it would have had a great Joker I want or something like that's always there but like this the seed just generates the whatever order stuff's going to pop in. But usually in those ones, like pretty quick by at least ante 3, like are you on a good trajectory? Like, do you not have a good set of jokers you need? And then you just restart it. Like you just gotta roll again. Like you can tell pretty quick, like I just gotta scrap the run. Which I've done a lot. It's like, okay, like I never want to go like, oh, I know I can get to 6, but I'm not gonna be able to get to 8. Like you just gotta scrap it and play at 3 times speed. But anyways. All right, well, we'll go ahead and call it there. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Zai, for joining.
Mhm.
And we'll see you all next time.
Bye.